Welcome Home will give you the opportunity to communicate directly with your guests via email, text message, and directly through the guest extranet. This is one of a series of videos produced to help you better understand Welcome Home's functionality and capabilities. This video will focus on event messages. Event messages are messages that you create and send out on a continuing basis. These are set up to be automatically sent at a specific time relating to either the check-in date, checkout date, payment, or cancellation of a reservation. Each message you create has to have a category assigned to it and a message type. The three different types of messages that can be set up under event messages are administrative, financial, and marketing. You can also choose to send either an email or a text message. To access Welcome Home, log into your admin console, select System Configuration, Reports, and Welcome Home Admin. You will use your admin username and password to log into Welcome Home. Once you've logged in and click the Sign In button, you will be taken to the Welcome Home dashboard. Before you set up an event message to be sent, you want to be sure you have an address entered in the Office Configuration section of Welcome Home. This will be used as the from address for the emails that you send. This is also the email guests will be sending emails to if they send one from the guest extranet, but there will be more about that in other videos. Once you have the Office configuration screen open, select the office you want to add information about from the drop-down menu. Once you go to the Office configuration screen, to the right of the on-off toggle switch, you will notice a box that says Email Address. Here you can enter the email address you want your messages to be sent from. You can enter a different address for each office as they are controlled at the office level of Office configuration. Please remember that if the toggle switch is not set to on in both the Office configuration screen and the Property configuration screen, Welcome Home will not work. Now that we have an address, we're ready to set up event messages. To open the event message section of Welcome Home, either click on the blue text from the Home menu that says Event Messages, or you can go to the Messaging tab and go to Event Messages from there. When you open the Event Messages tab, you will see a list of all the event messages you have already created, if you have created any, in the box below the Event Message heading. You will also see a blue button to the right of the box that says New Message Rule. From this screen, you can create a new message, edit a message that already exists, delete a message that already exists, or apply a message to a property. For our example, we are going to create a message reminding guests to pack paper products. So to create a new event message, click on the New Message Rule button. When the Message Rule Criteria screen opens, the first thing you'll want to do is enter a name for your rule. It is a good idea to be as descriptive as possible when you're naming your rule, because remember, you will be using this rule more than once, so you want to be sure it's something you will recognize. For our example, a good name would be Pack Paper Products. There are three categories you can choose from to classify your message: administrative, financial, or marketing. Administrative messages are ones that are pertaining to the reservation in general. They can include reminders of items to pack or an email thanking a guest for their stay. Financial messages are ones that are regarding some kind of payment information. They can include reminders that a payment is due. Marketing messages are ones that are used to market your company. They can include information about a special event going on or some kind of discount. As mentioned before, it is important to pick the accurate category for your messages because your guest has determined who in their party should get each type of message. Guests do this by going to the guest extranet and opening the Welcome Home menu. They then click on the Message Settings menu. And when a guest first goes in, the only name that will be listed is the name the reservation was created in. The email address is that that was provided when the reservation was initially set up. If a guest would like to add additional people to receive messages, they can enter in their name, email address, and phone number and determine which type of messages they would like that person to receive. Alright, back to our message. Once you've determined the category of the message you are sending, the next step is to identify the message type. Your choices are either email or text message, which is also the SMS message. The email address and phone numbers for the text message and for the email message are those that are entered in the message settings menu in Welcome Home, which we just took a look at. For our example message, we are going to select email as the message type. After determining the category and message type, the next thing, and perhaps the trickiest, is to select the reservation event and timing so your message will get sent when you intend for it to. You can choose from 4 different events to tie your message to: the check-in date, checkout date, any payment, and the reservation canceled. Housekeeping is a sub-option under the check-in date. All of these options are pretty much straightforward, with the exception of the housekeeping sub-option. And we've actually got a separate video just to cover the housekeeping section of the event message. When you are selecting the reservation event to tie your event message to, think about all the reservations in your system to be sure the event and timing will work for all situations. The idea behind creating an event message is that it is going to be sent out any and every time the reservation event and timing you enter occur. For our example, we know we want to tie this to the guests that are checking in, so we will select check-in date. When thinking about timing for the message, first decide which measure of time you need to use: hour, day, or month. If you want to send guests a message regarding things to remember to pack, for example, you would not want to send it hours before check-in time because most guests are already packed and on their way. Likewise, you would not want to send it months before check-in time because a reminder that far out would not work as a very good reminder. So for our example, we would select days. Once you've determined whether the time needs to be measured in hours, days, or months, select the radio button and then decide what number you would like to associate with it. For our example, since we've selected days, selecting a number from the timing drop-down box will be how many days before or after check-in you would like this message to be sent. For our example, we're going to make sure the guest receives it around the time they are thinking about packing and getting everything ready for their trip. Therefore, we will select 1. We've already selected days, and we know we want the message to be sent before the guest checks in as opposed to after. So for our message, we're going to send an administrative message in the email format 1 day before the guest checks in. The next thing we need to do for an email message is enter the subject of the email. This is the subject line that will appear in your guest's email box. So even though we've already named our message rule, here the title that will actually show in the guest's inbox is the subject line. Once we've gotten the subject entered, the next thing we'll need to do is actually compose the message. And the text editor that we have is a WYSIWYG editor, which means what you see is what you get. Therefore, however you enter the text in the box is how it will appear to your guests. The main differences between using an email message versus a text message is that text messages do not have subject lines, nor do they have the WYSIWYG editor for creating your message. You can personalize your message, as you can see here, by using the Show Tags button. By using the Show Tags button, you can see a list of all the tags you can add to your message to personalize it. For instance, if you would like to add any guest-specific information, simply decide what you would like to add, and you can copy that and paste it right into the body of your email. Just be sure you include the brackets. All of the information that fill in these tags, such as the reservation ID, the guest last name, the guest first name. All this information is pulled from your database. So however you have it entered is how it will display in the message when your guest receives it. Once you have finished creating your email, it's always best to look at it before you send it, the same way the guest will see it. By clicking on the eye icon, you can preview your message. So this is the way it will look for your guests. Of course, the guest's first name and the property name will be filled in from your database once the messages are actually being composed to send. Once you have your message finished, click the Save Rule button at the bottom right of the screen. You have now created a rule and saved it, but before it will work, you actually have to go in to assign the message to a property or to an office before it will be sent. After you have saved your new rule or message, you can always go back into it to edit or delete it. To do so, go back to the Event Messages tab and click on the message you wish to edit or delete. A simplified message menu will display on the right side of the screen. You will see the name of the event message, the type of message, timing the message will be sent, which event it is tied to, the category, the subject line that will appear for the guests, and the first couple of lines of the email. To edit the message, click the blue Edit Rule button. You can go in and make the changes that you need to, and then once you've finished, click the Save Edited Rule. You click the close, you'll go back out to the Event Messages menu. If you decide you would no longer like the message, you can click on the red Delete Rule button. However, just keep in mind if you do this, it will delete the rule completely from your list. Once you have the message finished and you're ready to start using it, you have to apply the message to your properties. You can do this for multiple properties at one time through the Event Messages menu, or for individual properties through the Property Configuration menu. We will go ahead and apply the message to multiple properties at one time. Therefore, we will click the Event Messages tab, click the event message we want to apply, which again is our pack paper products, and then click the blue Apply Messages to Property button. This will open a new screen. On the left side of the screen, you will see a drop-down menu to select which one of your offices the property or properties are in that you want to apply the rule to. So we'll select the office, and then you can see a list of all of the properties that we have associated with this office. For our example, we want to go ahead and apply our pack paper products rule to all of our properties that start with VRM. Click on the property in the left-hand side of the box, click the Include button, and it will move the property over to the right-hand side. If you would like to include more than one property at a time, you can click on the first property, click the Shift key, and click the last property in the list you would like to move over. Doing this will save you time from having to move each individual property at one time. Once you've gotten all of your properties moved to the right-hand side, click the Apply Rule button. Then click the white Close button. So from this point on, for our example, all of the VRM properties will receive the Pack Paper Products rule, that message, one day before they're scheduled to check in. As I mentioned before, instead of assigning a message to multiple properties at one time, you can select just one individual property to assign the message to. If you would like to do that, go back to the home screen, click on the Property Config tab. From this screen, you can select the office that the property is tied to and pick the individual property you would like to assign a message to. We'll select Welcome Home Joey. As long as this toggle switch is switched to on in the Property Configuration tab and the Office Configuration tab, messages can be assigned. To assign messages to this specific property, click the Assign Messages button. Once again, you'll see a list of all the messages we have set up. You can select the message that you would like to assign to this property and click Apply. And if you would like to assign multiple messages, again, you can highlight multiple ones on the left, click Apply, and they will appear on the right-hand side of the screen. Once you have the message on the right-hand side, click Save Changes. Clicking Close will take you back out to the property information screen. And now from this point on, anybody coming to stay in Welcome Home Joey will receive the message one day before check-in reminding them to pack their paper products. To remove a message from multiple properties at one time, click on the Event Messages tab. Click the event message you want to remove, and then click the Apply Messages to Property button. If you had clicked the Delete button, it would delete the message from the system completely, not just from the property. So do not click this button unless you are ready to completely remove a message from the system. Once you've clicked the Apply Message to Property button, a new screen will open. On the left side of the screen, you will see the Office drop-down menu, and to the right, you will see the All Properties Associated box. You will see a list of the properties that are already tied to this rule in that box. Click on the property in the right-hand box that needs to have the rule removed from it. To remove multiple properties at one time, click on the first property in the list you want to remove, hold the Shift key, click the last one, and then click the Remove button. All the properties that you selected now no longer have the Pack Paper Products message associated with it. The only property that will still get that email is Welcome Home Joey. Once you have made all the changes you would like, click the Apply Rule button and then click Close. If an event message only needs to be removed from one property, you can click on the Property Configuration button and then select the office the property is managed through, and then select the property you wish to remove the rule from. Click the Assign Messages rule, and again, these are all the messages that are now associated with the Welcome Home Joey. Here, you can remove multiple messages at one time, but this will only affect the one property. So if we want to remove the Pack Paper Products, select it, click Remove, Save Changes, and Close. Using the Property Configuration screen is usually most helpful if you want to remove multiple messages from the same property. Using the Event Messages screen works whether you want to remove it from multiple properties or one single property, but it's just one message that you're removing. So it just depends on what works better for you as far as which way you decide to do it. And that's pretty much it as far as event messages are concerned. If you do have questions or need additional help, please contact the help desk at help@vrmgr.com.